All right, so thank you for being a part of the Health Professions Advising today. My name is Dr. Colleen McCracken-Rennick, and I am the Health Professions Advisor at DePauw University. And I'll walk you through some of the things some commonly asked questions that students often have about doing health professions at DePauw and what that looks like. So,
I think he went away.
okay,
Sorry.
they're back.
He,
I think they're back now.
okay, I think that, I don't know if I was muted in the beginning. You might stop the recording and restart it. Sorry.
Yeah, I can start it over.
Hi, Misha. Can you hear us now? It looks like it worked.
Okay.
Okay.
So we welcome you, Misha, and this is Becca from the Office of Admission, and our Health Professions Advisor, Colleen McCracken, is going to go ahead and start a recording. How are you, Misha?
Good. How are you?
Great.
Awesome. Glad to have you here. So I'm going to go over some of the commonly asked questions about health professions advising and studying health professions at DePauw. And then if you have questions, you can just go ahead and ask, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so different things that a lot of times students are asking about for health professions are what helps a student get accepted into a health profession school. So I've listed a few things here on this slide, like leadership, academics, student character, engagement on and off campus. And all of these different things are really developed by you as a student, but also relationships that you develop on campus. So we have a lot of different student groups on campus. So there's, I think, over 100 different student groups. So a lot of students will get involved with something that they are really passionate about, that they're really interested in. And then that helps a student start to develop their own leadership qualities in an organization that they really care about. So that helps you understand how student organizations work, but then also build your skill set of, all right, now you're going to be the social media chair or whatever that looks like. Strong academics are also developed through your coursework, but then you can also develop that in different types of campus activities. Maybe you're doing research with a professor, or if you want to do ethics bowl or something of that nature. Student character is also really important when you're going to health profession school, given that you are going to be making major decisions about people's lives, helping them make decisions. Some of your academics will help with that, but then also just how you conduct yourself as a student and as a leader on campus will also help you maintain good character and develop your character and what that looks like for you as an individual. Many students will do different types of activities on campus, but then also if you want to get involved in the community, doing some type of community service, and that doesn't have to necessarily be only in the Greencastle community. If you have an organization in your hometown that you're very closely tied to, that can be something that you can continue throughout your time at DePauw. Independent inquiry is also something that we see very commonly associated with students getting accepted into health profession schools. And that may be through research of doing biochemical research, or that might be doing a community engagement project. But really what schools are trying to see is, how do you critically analyze problems? How do you want to solve those problems? And what are you going to do about the problems that you might see in a community, and how you want to be a part of a solution. And then through all of these different areas on campus and off campus, you'll get to know faculty members and other people who might be mentors for you. So those relationships that you'll build with those individuals can really help guide you, and also provide opportunities for you to grow and also develop your skill set so that you'll be a great candidate for going into whatever health profession it is that you would like. So personal development, I kind of talked a little bit about this already. Getting involved in a campus organization. So like I mentioned, we have over 100 different campus organizations. So that's anything from Greek life to athletics, to some of our religious and interfaith organizations, student government, all over the board. There are even rock climbing. So we have a rock climbing club too. So there's all sorts of different things that students get involved in. And as a student who's interested in a health profession, we do have some clubs and organizations that are more geared, centered around health, but you don't have to have that be the only thing that you're involved in. So you're not just a single entity being, you have all these different facets to yourself. So you can definitely be involved in the things that you're interested in. Also, you want to study something that you're really excited about and a major that really suits you. Our curriculum is set up so that you don't have to pick your major until the second semester of your sophomore year. So we really encourage students to take advantage of the liberal arts, take a lot of classes that you're passionate about. So that could be biology and chemistry. That could also be looking at different ways that media is used in our culture, or even looking at historical context or classics or something like that, or art. So there's a lot of different ways that you can explore your passions and help build a major or choose the right major for you. Students also like to engage in research, and students can do that as soon as their first year on campus. Many of our departments who are doing scientific-based research have open lunches so that students can find out what type of research is offered, and then you apply through the departments for a research program that might be most interesting to you. And then throughout your time at DePauw, you can choose to stay involved in research, or you can wait and get involved in research, later on. You don't have to do that as a first year. It's really whatever suits you. And a lot of our majors also have research as a component in the major. So that's also something to keep in mind, that if you don't want to start out doing research, you're able to definitely get a research experience at some point in your 4 years. I also really recommend that students do some hands-on experience. The Hubbard Center where I work, we really talk to students a lot about doing internships or getting some job shadowing, volunteering, or winter term in service. A great way to know how a profession might suit you is doing some informational interviews with people who are already in those areas. But at the same time, you really want to make sure that you understand what that work looks like. So if you're going to be a dentist or you're interested in that, shadowing a dentist and seeing the type of work that they're doing, because you don't want to get to grad school and say, oh, I have to put my hands in somebody's mouth. I don't really want to do that. So understanding how you want to engage in that work. And I help students do that too, talking about the natures of professions and getting you connected to some of our alums that are also doing this work, so you can have those connections as well. And also, we have a lot of great faculty and staff. So our classes, especially are, between 10 to 24 students. So a lot of your science classes, you'll get to know your professors really well, because you'll see them 4 days a week, especially if your class has a lab. So you get to know your classmates really well and your faculty members. And then your major faculty who are going to be your major advisor, you may have that same professor for all 4 years while you're at DePauw. So you really get to develop some great relationships throughout your 4 years here. And then those people can write you really great recommendations because they've seen your growth over the last 4 years for you to go into a health profession school. So some of the opportunities that I want to talk about, I mentioned some of these briefly, but a lot of our students really like to do research off campus after they develop their skill set on campus. So we have a relationship with Cincinnati Children's Hospital, where students will go there usually after their junior year, in between their junior and senior year, as a part of their summer undergraduate research program. We also have a special relationship with Hendricks Regional Health, who is a local healthcare provider, and they offer up to 12 paid internships to our students in healthcare. And so that might be anywhere from working with the CEO of the healthcare network to working with physicians and doing wellness clinics and things like that. So it's all across the healthcare board and what that actually means as the business of healthcare. And then we also have a wonderful alumni mentor network, and they are many times are at least doing informational interviews with our students, but also want to help talk to our students about like what it's like to be in the work area that you want to go into, and help you make connections and learn how to be a professional in these areas. We have a few winter term courses that have been pretty popular that are centered around health. One of them is an EMT training class. So students at the end of that class are able to sit for the National Registry exam to become an EMT. We also have an MCAT prep course that a lot of our students will take once they're at the stage where they're going to be taking the MCAT. So they take that either their junior or senior year. And then finally, we also have a global health in Cuba class. And this is not limited. So we also have a medical terminology class that's been new. We have a TIMI global health class where students go on a medical brigade down to Ecuador. So lots of different ways that students get involved in health. But these are not limiting. We always have new things coming around because our faculty members keep on doing new stuff pretty often. Okay, and then last but not least, some really commonly asked questions. What major should you choose? So that's by far the biggest one. And it's really, you want to choose something that you're passionate about. One of the reasons that we don't have a pre-medical major is you can go into medicine with any major. So if you like biology or biochemistry, but if you like Spanish or classics, anything in there, our curriculum is really flexible so that you can take your prerequisites for whatever health profession it is that you want to go into, and then later on also take your major requirements. And I help students create a 4-year plan so that they're understanding how their major classes fit together with our graduation requirements and your pre-health requirements. So it's not just you're doing everything all at one time. So it's spread out over the 4 years. Many students also study abroad during their time here. So some of those winter term classes I mentioned, the Cuba one, obviously students go to Cuba for that class. But there are many other classes where students might want to do a full semester abroad, and students have that ability, especially with some good planning. And then you can get started by looking into different areas that you're interested in. If you know of health professionals that might want to tell you about what their profession looks like, that's a great way to also start digging into what you want to do. And then there's also a really great website, explorehealthcareers.org, has a lot of information about what health professions look like. There's over 200 allied health professions. So there might be things on there that you've never even thought about doing. Rather than the traditional doctor or dentist or something like that. So there are lots of different ways that students can be involved in the health professions beyond some of the more traditionally sought after professions. And that's pretty much all I have for today, but if you have any questions, I would love to answer them.
Okay, one question I have is, does DePauw have a specific medical school for after students graduate, or?
Do students just go wherever?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of because a lot of our students who come to DePauw are from Indiana. Many of them go to IU School of Medicine, also because it's one of the biggest medical schools in the country. But students can really go wherever they want. So we have students that go to schools in California. We have students at like Dartmouth or Harvard. We have students at UVA. So it's a lot of times students or University of Kentucky, Ohio State, University of Louisville. Those are all pretty common because we have a lot of students that come from those areas. But then also students from the Chicago area will either go to like Loyola, or will go to Northwestern or UIC. Those are also common schools. So it really just kind of depends on where a student wants to go. But the biggest and most common one is IU School of Medicine.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have for you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, great to see you. And Becca will share my information. So if you have more questions about pre-med and that path, you'll be able to contact me if you like.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too.